Hello guys and welcome back. So let's create this profile UI. Let's head over to profile. We are in the profile screen now. Down here, instead of displaying this list out, let's create the profile UI. So first let's display a column. Let's put a column there, return a column which has children, and then the first child here we are going to put the first child here, let's put a user image. Okay, so this is what Copilot is suggesting. It's saying that we put an image here and then a name and a phone number. Okay, no, that's not what we want. Let's create our own design. Okay, so the first child here, let's put that user image. What did we name it? Display image. That widget that we built. Yeah. So on the image here, is it the one? Let's go to this method. So this final image is a file, but we don't have a file. This is not the one, so let's go back. Let's not use this one. Let's use the other one. We named it as a user image widget. Yeah, user image widget, that one. Great. So this one, let's import it. Why are we failing to import? What's the problem here? So this column, let's close it like that, and then we need to import this. Why can't we import this? Let's see, what did we name it? It's in the global method, user image widget. Yeah, this one. All right, so we missed the required argument, that's why we couldn't import it. So it's on what? On tap. Yeah, so this one on tap. For now, let's not do anything, and then now let's import it. Did we get the right name here? Let's copy this. Oh yeah, I see the problem. We are putting these caps here, so we need to put the small s. Yeah, now we can import this. Yeah, all right, so this will be the user image, and then let's hot restart. So the image, we are putting an image here. Let's hot restart. There we have it. And then the other thing, we need to put it on the center. Okay, so let's wrap all of these in the center widget, and then maybe let's make it bigger now, like 60. Let's hot restart. I don't know why the hot restart is starting all the way to the back. You just need to hot reload. So there is our profile image. Maybe let's also wrap this with some padding. So let's make it symmetric, and then horizontal, we'll give it maybe 30. Vertical, let's give it, okay, let's try 20. Let's hot restart. There we have it. And then the next thing that we want to put after this user image is going to be the name. Okay, so maybe we can put the name and the rest of the things inside the container. Okay, oh yeah, let's put them inside the container. So after this center widget, let's have another container. So after this center widget, let's have a container. Let's go back. Yeah, this container is going to have a child, and then this child is going to be a column again. Yeah, so let's go with what Copilot is saying and then see what it will show. So we don't have an email, we have a status. So let's remove this email, and then here we've got about me. Yeah, like that. Let's try to hot restart. Then if you go back, so there is a name and then there is a status saying about me. Okay, so what we can do here is let's see, is these things all right? Let's put the font that we want, our font style. Okay, so here let's use our Google font. Google Fonts, load Open Sans, like that, and then we need to remove the constant modifier. Open Sans, like that one, and then bold also here. Let's do the same. Let's copy that, then paste it here. All right, that's it. So maybe this about me, we can create its own image. Okay, and then maybe before this we can show the button for friend request. Okay, because if we have friend request, we want to have a button here that shows, so that we can check those friends. Okay, so what's it saying here? It wants us to use a size block, because we didn't give this container some arguments. Okay, so maybe let's remove it. Yeah, it's fine because we already have a column on top. So what we can do is remove this. We can remove the necessary container, and then also let's remove this column. We don't need it. Let's hot restart. So we're still having the same result. Okay, so the next thing that we can do now is to create a button. Maybe before we show about me, let's create a button for the friend request, so that we can see if we have friend request or what. So let's create this button. So let's create a separate widget for that. After the scaffold here, let's say widget, build a friend request button. Okay, so here let's take some required arguments. Let's take required user model. This will be a user model, and then current user. Do we need the entire user model, or let's just take the strings? Okay, so required string, current user ID. Okay, and then another required string UID. Okay, or we say friend ID. Okay, and then now here let's return. So first of all, let's check if we're in our profile. Okay, that's what we'll do. So here let's ignore Copilot is code. Let's check if current UID is equals to friend ID. Okay, so now here we are checking if this current user ID is equals to friend ID, then we are in our profile. Okay, so if we are in our profile, so here in the else, we are not in our profile. Okay, not in our profile. So here, if you are in our profile, what we want to do is to return a button which shows. First, we want to check first before we return a button. Let's check if we even have a friend request. Okay, now I realize that we need this user model. Okay, because that we are going to check for friend request. So this will be user model, and then this also will be user model. Okay, so let's do current user, and then this one, let's do other user. All right, or we can just say user model. Yeah. All right, now here we need to check current user dot uid. So for user model dot uid. Okay, so now after we check here that we are the current user, let's also now check if let's check if we have a friend request. Okay, so here we're going to check if current user model like that. Okay, let's click on tab. This is correct, but now we don't want to check for friend request. We want to check for friend it's named as friend request UIDs. Okay, so here we want to check not like this. Let's remove this. Here we want to check if current user dot friend UID dot is not empty. Okay, if let's remove one dot. If this friend request UID is not empty, let's go to Firestore. So we are checking if this friend request UID, this list is not empty, then we know that we have friend requests. Okay, so let's open up the application. So if we have friend request, what we want to show here is the button to let us to check the friend request. Okay, so here this elevated button is correct, but here we want to say view friend request, and then maybe let's add let's change this like to uppercase, and then let's put some styling. Let's remove this constant keyword here. Let's put a style. So our style will come from Google Fonts. Google Fonts dot open sans, and then now let's put what we need to put here. Sorry, let's go down there, and then maybe let's put what can we change here? Maybe just like that. Let's remove these extra brackets. Let's remove that. Let's just put the font weight to be bold. So if we have a friend request, we are going to return this button which says we have a friend request. In the else, if it is not empty, where is that if statement? Yeah, this, let's see, is everything correct here? This if statement here should close here. Okay, and then let's put the else. Yeah, like that. So this doesn't seems to be right. We need the closing bracket here. Yeah, so that is correct now. Okay, so now if everything is, if we don't have a friend request, we're just going to return an empty size box. And then else, if we are not the current user here, also we need to return nothing here. Okay, so also return empty size box. So what is it saying? It says that we return nope, let's return an empty. So const size box, like that. Okay, so this button, just this friend request button, just check if we have friend request, and then also if we are current user, that's when it will return that button. So let's take this button and then put it maybe above the about me there. So build friend request button, and then we put these two and then put a comma there, and also put a comma there, and then let's copy this and then put it there. All right, And then one other thing, maybe what we can do is we can do these checks above here or anywhere. That is fine. So now if we hot restart, we won't have any change because we know we don't have a friend request. So let's hot restart. So that size box has put a space. So what we can do is we can say size box dot shrink, like that. Let's do the same even down here. Then let's hot restart. Then if we come back to the, let's let it load first. If we come back to the profile screen, we can see that we don't have anything there because we don't have friend requests. But let's modify the database. Just let's play with it. Okay, so what we're going to do is go back to the browser. Then here inside the friend request UID, let's try to add a dummy data. So here let's just a random ID there and add. Okay, now we have one ID, so we should be able to see that button. So let's go back there and then let's come back to the profile. Okay, so it didn't load. Let's see why it did not. So this current user, okay, so why it didn't load? Because we are getting this from the current user. We don't want to get from the current user. This current user is saved. You can see that it's coming from the authentication provider, which already saved a long time ago. But this user model, which is coming from this stream, where is that stream? This, in this stream we are returning this user model. Where is that? This is a stream, so it's getting the real-time data. So now here, instead of using the current user, we need to get from the user model, because we know that it's our data because we have checked this is equals to this. Okay, so here let's do copy that and then paste it here. Now here we'll get the real-time change. So now let's hot restart. You can see that the button has come there. Okay, so this button is here because we have a friend request here. Okay, great. I hope you are following along. So now if we have a friend request here, we need to navigate. If we click here, we need to navigate to see these friends so that we can accept them. Okay, so now let's, here we need to put a comment, navigate to friend request screen. So this is what we do. We have to create the screen for friend request. Okay, so this button is done. Now let's build another button for friends. So the other button that we are going to build is just below this button. We are going to check if we have friends in our database. Then we have the button that says view friends. Okay, so this is just is going to be a simple UI for our profile screen. You guys can customize it the way you want it. So next, this is a friend request button. So friend request button, and then now after this one, let's have a friends button. Not that, this will be friends button. Yeah, friends, like that. Let's see if Copilot will follow along what we did here and do the same here. Let's let it code. All right, let's just click on tab. So now here, so Copilot did the same here. So it says that if we are the current user, we are going to have a button which says it's going to check in our friends UID if it is not empty, and then it's going to show the button view friends. Okay, and then if we are not, it's not going to show anything if we don't have friends. Okay, so this is correct. So let's also put it below this button, maybe after this size box. Let's say build friends button. Yeah, let's put a comma and then also a comma there. Then let's copy that and put it there. So the other thing that we can do is first let's restart this. Then if we go there, we won't see that button because we don't have friends. But now if we are going to edit the database here, let's add just a dummy friend. Let's add the random UID, then add. Right away we're going to see that button. Okay, great. So now we don't want these buttons to be like this. Okay, the other one is longer, the other one is shorter. So that's the other thing that we have to do. Let's give these buttons, like wrap them into the size box and then give them the width. Okay, so let's wrap into the size box, and then the width, let's say not like that. Let's give it a media query of context of wigs, and then let's get something like that, 70%, or let's do 50, and then let's copy that. Also this one, let's give it the same sized box, and then width, let's paste that. Let's remove that. Let's hot restart. So let's remove one of these commas and hot restart. So we have the same buttons, but now you can see that this one, since it's got longer words, it's doing that. It's doing that. We don't want to have it like that. So what we can do is let's just change this to what Copilot was suggesting. Let's put it to 7, and then also here 7. So let's hot restart, and then we can have those two buttons like that. Okay, so the one here on the top will only show if we have a friend request, and this other one will always show once we just have a friend. It will always be showing when it comes to our profile. Okay, so these are our two buttons, but now we need to have another button for us now to send a friend request. Okay, so the button that will always be there, actually no, this is our profile. Okay, so we only have these two buttons if it's our profile. If we have friend request, we need to have the button which says view friend request. If we don't have, we only have the view friends. And then if it is not our profile now, we can't have this button to view friends, and then we won't have even this button to view friend request. If it is not our profile, we should have another button which should say send friend request. Okay, if we are viewing the profile which is not ours, we should have a button which says send friend request. Okay, so let's also create that button. So let's come down here and see just after this method and see if Copilot will copy our logic there. Okay, so this button will be a send friend request button like that, and then let's let Copilot do it. So there it is. So this is not a button, this is a method. Okay, we want a button just like what we're doing here. So let's remove that. Yeah, we did not get what we want. So what we can do is again, let's say widget, and then build send let's see if it will follow. Yeah, that's what we want. And then let's go ahead and click tab. Okay, so you can see that it's actually doing the same here. Again, if it's checking if we are not in our profile, if current user is equals to user model, is going to return nothing else. It is going to return this button. Okay, but it's also already put this method inside. We don't want to do that now, so let's remove it. We just want it like that. Okay, so this button will also show if we are not in our profile. If we have get into somebody's profile just to check his profile, we are going to have this button instead of these two buttons, so that we can send a friend request. But also on this same button, we have to check if we are already friends with this button, it should show that remove friend, or we can't even show anything. Okay, so that's how it works. But now you can see that we have got three methods here: to show the friend request button, to show the view friends, and then also this one for friend request. This is a lot of code, but now we have Copilot in our hands, so we can use the power of Copilot now to reformat this code, because this code, again, we can get this. Okay, we can get this and then also just show it down here after these other methods. After this height here, we can also now say build friend request button. Okay, like that. Then if we hot restart, we won't see any change because we are okay. So we have seen the change which we shouldn't see. Maybe we didn't go through this code properly. So let's see, request button. Okay, yeah, we shouldn't be seeing this because we are in our profile. So let's go and okay, we are seeing it because I've just called this again. Okay, so I need to call this one build send friend request button. Okay, let's paste that here. Then we shouldn't see that because we are in our profile. Okay, now it's fine, everything is just okay. I just called the wrong thing here, the wrong button. So now you can see that we've got these three buttons, which is kind of a lot to put here. We've got Copilot in our hands. So what we can do is we can get all these three buttons and just ask Copilot to format the code, because even now, before we ask Copilot, we can just simply, in this build friend button, we are already checking here if current user is not equals to UID. So instead of returning this now, we can just return this button. Okay, because what we want is, if it's not our profile, we want to show this button. So we can just simply cut this and then not just create this button, then just return that here. Okay, so here we say show show send request button, send friend request button. Okay, then let's hot restart. We'll still have the same, we are still going to have the same here if we hot restart, because nothing has changed. What's the error? Okay, we need to delete this because we deleted this method. Okay, so if we hot restart, we're just going to have the same here because we are not in our profile. This other button which is down here will only show when we are in somebody, in the other person's profile. Okay, so if we go here, it's still the same, but now we can still format it further because we are doing a lot of checks here. What we can do is, even here, once we check that if current user.uid is equals to this, and then instead of checking the other if statement here, we can just check here and we can put and this, which is this. Okay, and this is also this. Then now we can just display this. Okay, so we can cut that and then remove this other if statement and then just paste that here. Okay, just to minimize the code, which is the same thing that we can even do here. So let's just do that before we ask Copilot to to refactor this. So here we can also say and check that, and then also just cut all of these and then remove this if statement here. Okay, so the results will still be the same even if when we hot restart. Okay, so now let's the code is now smaller, but now let's do more. Let's copy all these and ask Copilot to reformat, and then see if it will come up with a better code than ours. Okay, so I'm gonna highlight all of them, and then on Windows I'm going to press Control and I. On the Mac you need to press Command I, and then here let's just ask Copilot to reformat, refactor this code. Okay, so let's click enter and then see what it will do. Let me minimize that. All right, so you can see what has changed here. Okay, this is our code. Everything in red here, it has been changed to this. Okay, so we can see that all of this was just a lot of code. Okay, so let's go with Copilot's code. We're just going to click accept here, and then now we have this. So in Copilot's code, it has again created these 3 buttons. Okay, there's this one, so this method, and then there's this button, and then there's build friend request, and then there's an elevated button which it can now first it has created this elevated button which it can call now depending on the build. Okay, let's go back here and just check one by one. So there's a friend request button, and then there's a friends button, and then what else? Oh, there's just 2 buttons. So in the friends button, it's doing the same like what we did. It's just checking here if this UID is ours, and then also if the friend list is not empty, it's going to show the elevated button, this button which it built, which is this one here. Okay, so this elevated button, it's now a widget that it's reusing in here and in here. Okay, it created the button here, and then now it's just reusing here. This build friend request, it's just one method, and then it's putting the labels depending on which one we are showing. If it's in our profile, we want to view friends, the label is view friends. If we're not in our profile, the label is send friend request. Okay, and then on this one now also it's the same. It's using that elevated button, and then it's just putting the label view friend request. But what's the problem here? So it needs to add the const modifier. Okay, so now we can do the same, because what is the error that we're having? So this error, it's probably because do we even have this method? Let's see, build friend request button, it's this method. So why are we having an error here? Let's see. Let's just copy this and then paste it here. Okay, so it's the spelling. Copilot made it with another spelling. Maybe our spelling was wrong, or it just renamed it. Okay, so even this code now, it works the same with what we had. So let's hot restart. And then if we come back here, it's the same. Okay, so you can either use this Copilot's code, or we can go back to the previous code. So once again, in this code, what happened is that it created this elevated button which takes the on pressed and the label. Okay, So now in the build friends button here, it just checked if we are current user, if we are in our profile, and also in a friend UID is not empty, which means we have friends. So it's going to return that elevated button, and then the on pressed, we are going to go to the friend screen, and then the label of the button, it's just going to put the view friends. In the else, we are just going to, we are not in our profile, we are going to show that elevated button, and then on the on pressed, we are going to go to the friend to send a friend request, because we have that button which says send friend request. And then on this one is just the same. It's just going to check inside our, first it will check if we're in our profile, and then if we are, yes, we are in our profile, and then the friend request UID is not empty, is going to return that elevated button which says view friend request. In the else, it won't show anything. Okay, so that's it about this method. I think this video is also long enough. We can end this video right now, and then in the next video we can maybe give this about me a title here. On top here we can just put some words which says about me, and then from there we can also add an icon to go to the settings here, and maybe from there, from the settings, that's where we can log out. But before we end this video, let's just return our Firebase to normal so that we don't see this, because we know we don't have a friend requests, we don't have friends as well. So let's minimize that, and then minimize that, and then we can delete this now. So let's just delete this, and then also this one, let's delete. So even in the application it's updated. So send friend request. Okay, so now this send friend request is shown. We need to see what is going on. Maybe Copilot's code is wrong. So let's see. This send friend request should only come if if we are not in our UID. So if current UID is equals to this, we should see this. If this does not equal to this, we should not see this. But why are we seeing this? Let's hot restart. Okay, we are seeing that. So maybe even here, let's just have a check again. So let's get this, and then here just check if yeah. So if this, what we can say, if this does not equal to this, okay, we are going to return this. Let's cut and return that. Okay, and then else, now we can return a size box. So let's hot restart. Yeah, we shouldn't see it now, because if this does not equal to this, which means we are not in our profile, that's when we should see this. Okay, which is happening now. We are in our profile, this is equals to this, we shouldn't be seeing this. Okay, so that was just a quick fix on the Copilot's code. Now we are good to go. Here we should only see buttons if either we are in somebody else's profile, we are going to see this button which says send friend request, or if we have a friend request, if we are in our profile and we have a friend request, we are going to see this button. And then if we have friends in our Firebase, we should see this button which says view friends. Okay, so that's it about this video. I hope everything was clear. Thank you guys, and see you in the next video.